Slab crappie often hunker in lush weed beds during the summer, but the first few hints of autumn's approach signal the arrival of a brand new pattern. Heavy dew on your truck windows, geese flocking in the fields, and seeing more deer on your way to the lake all point to an incredible panfish opportunity awaiting offshore.
Got him. Man, this is just one of my favorite times of the year. It was cold last night. We're gonna have to mess with that knot a little bit. It was cold last night though. It got down to 41 degrees. We woke up this morning to some cold weather. And here's what's going on. This is the first week of that cold weather. And what happens is, all of a sudden the water temps drop really fast. It's amazing to me every year how fast water temps can drop. When all of a sudden you get a couple cold nights, I mean, it'll just plummet. And when that happens, fish like that one right there, let him go because I think we're gonna get a bunch of them. But fish like that right there, these crappies, they start doing two things. One, they move. They vacate some of these weeds that they were sitting up in and they slide out into deeper water. And two, they go on a feeding binge. And I'll tell you what, they get easy to catch and they're just a ball to catch because all of a sudden you can see them on your electronics. All summer long, they've been hiding up in those weeds, but now you can see them on your electronics. It makes it really easy to pinpoint them. And as soon as you get them dialed in, you can just catch them over and over and over. But it's all triggered by this cool weather. The leaves haven't changed yet, but we're not far away. All of a sudden, you're gonna see things change really quick in the next couple weeks. And this happens every year around the end of August. It's one of the greatest times to be on the water. Let's get back down there. Let's get us another one because that's the exact start I was looking for. There he goes. Missed him. Tried to get him before that float went down that time. That's one of the neat things about using a balsa float. Is you can see so much. It detects so much more than what, say, a foam float would do. This balsa float that I'm using today, that balsa wood is just so sensitive that you can see a fish just start bumping it. And a lot of times I'll set the hook before I even see that float go down when they just start playing around with it. That time he's got it. Got him. That one feels like a little bit better one too. It's probably the same fish that messed with it right from the beginning there. That's a better one. Yep, that's what we're after today. Look at that, that's a great eating size crappie right there. Here's the thing about these fish. These fish were right up in those weeds, right up until just a few days ago. And as soon as these water temps started dropping, and they've dropped fast. I mean, we got 64-degree water this morning. And as I move around, you're gonna find stuff that's probably 62, you're gonna find stuff that's probably 65, and it's gonna warm up as the day goes on, but every night, this water temp is going to continue to drop a little bit. It'll warm up a little bit during the day, but it's going to go in that direction of backwards. And that's exactly what we're after right there. Just a great meal of good eating crappies. Anything, you know, in that 10-inch range on up, we'll throw him in the box. But let me explain to you why these fish have moved out here to where we're catching them. If you look at these weeds back behind me right here, you can see that the bottoms of those weeds are starting to turn kind of a beige, kind of a brown. Just a week ago, that was all green and things were still growing with the water temps where they were at. But now what's happened is with these cold nights, the water cooling off, the water's hit a temp now where nothing's growing the same and it's not giving off as much oxygen. Now, the other thing that's happening is as soon as that happens, that cover changes in there. It becomes a lot more sparse really quick. And a lot of the minnows, they'll slide out of there. Well, these little tiny minnows that these crappies have been eating on, all of a sudden they're out in open water, and here come those crappies right behind them. It's a natural progression that takes place all across the Midwest. Every single lake out there that's got crappies with a deep water basin goes through this. What happens is they pull out of those weeds and they get to that first major break, and that's where these fish are. They're just right along this first break, and I'll tell you what, you can see them. It's really easy now. Just a week ago, you couldn't see them because they were up in those weeds so tight, but now it's a piece of cake to find them. And now I'm just hovering the boat over the top of them, and I'm fishing a float today. You could just straight jig them if you want, but I'll tell you what, it's easy pickings. Let's get back in there, get us another one. One of the biggest keys to crappie fishing too is to remember to make sure you've got that bait placed above the fish. So when you're setting that depth, make sure you're 2 or 3 feet above those fish. And here's why I do it. They're sight feeders. I mean, they go on what they see. So if you hang that bait up above them, they can see it. If you go right down to their nose, a lot of times they'll just poke at it. And we've all seen that ice fishing. We want to try to get fish to move up. And the reason we do it is because if you can get a fish to move up, usually he'll commit and finish the deal and bite. So make sure you're setting that depth with your slip knot up above those fish so that you know you're getting fish to move and come up. The other thing is, I think you get a lot more of the bigger fish in the school when you set up above them, because that bigger fish isn't as scared of being vulnerable by moving, where a smaller fish, a lot of times he doesn't want to move and leave the safety of the group. There's a bunch of them right there. This is a really neat deal you see right here on the screen. These are all crappies down here, and you can see here how they're separated, but you see how this blob here is all the same? That's bait. Those crappies are all underneath that bait. That's exactly what they're eating right there. So all we're doing is we're landing ourselves just below the bait depth-wise so that these fish see our bait before they get up to those minnows. There, he's got it. Got him. That was just a case of moving with the school, but moving vertical. Moving vertical with that fish, with these fish, has made the difference. And I'm just spending a lot of time making those adjustments as we go. And if you don't, here's what's gonna happen. Those fish will move on you and you won't get back to them. So you really wanna be keeping up with those adjustments. That's a good crop right there. I was a little worried that I didn't have him hooked very good, so I reached down and grabbed him. It's another great fish for our live well. I know that you get into these fall months, you start feeling this cool air. You think of a couple different things. You think of high school football maybe, you know, professional college football. You think of hunting, but I'll tell you what, there is some great crappie fishing that's available if you take the time to get out and do it. Fish like that, they're feeding heavy. They're getting ready for fall. And that means you can put them in the live well pretty easy and have one last fish fry.